What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. There is a brand new crop circle that has appeared over in the UK, and in today's video, we're going to go over that new crop circle as well as the history of crop circles and learning just a little bit more about it. What do you say? Let's jump in. Please hit the like button, Vetters. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, y'all. I put out new videos every week about the UFO phenomena. So let's jump into this crop circle. I first learned about it through this Twitter account, Hollywood, @thatUAPgirl. And she writes, "It's in the crops. Brand new crop circle just appeared at Etchelhampton Hill near Devizes, Wiltshire, UK. Hope I said that right. Anyway, let's take a closer look. But before we do that, let's take a look back in history at crop circles and what they're all about. Here's a brief summary about crop circles. Crop circles. Those enigmatic patterns of flattened crops that appear seemingly overnight in fields across the globe have long captivated the imagination of believers, skeptics, and curious minds alike. These intricate designs, ranging from simple circles to elaborate fractals, spirals, and even pictograms, have sparked intense debate, particularly around the idea that some may be created by unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, as messages or markers from extraterrestrial beings. For a phenomenon that blends mystery, science, and folklore, the UFO connection remains one of the most intriguing and polarizing aspects of crop circles. The phenomenon gained prominence in the late 1970s and 1980s, particularly in Wiltshire, England, which became a hotspot for these formations. Fields of wheat, barley, and corn would suddenly bear massive, precise designs, some spanning hundreds of feet, that appeared too complex and rapid to be the work of humans, at least to some observers. Eyewitnesses occasionally reported seeing strange lights, glowing orbs, or even disc-shaped objects hovering near fields where crop circles later appeared. These accounts fueled speculation that UFOs were responsible, perhaps using advanced technology to manipulate crops with pinpoint accuracy. For believers, the sheer scale and geometric sophistication of certain formations, like the 1996 Juliusette fractal near Stonehenge or the 2001 Milk Hill Galaxy design with over 400 circles, pointed to an intelligence beyond human capability. Some researchers have attempted to provide scientific backing for the extraterrestrial hypothesis. Biophysicist W.C. Levengood, for instance, conducted studies in the 1990s and early 2000s, analyzing plant samples from crop circles. He claimed to find anomalies, such as elongated plant nodes, expulsion cavities, and microscopic iron particles, suggesting exposure to intense electromagnetic or microwave energy, not easily replicable by humans. Other investigators reported unusual electromagnetic readings or even radiation spikes in some formations, further stoking the idea of otherworldly technology at play. Proponents argue that these physical traces, combined with the speed of creation, often in a single night, make human involvement unlikely in at least some cases. However, the UFO theory faces significant skepticism. In 1991, two British men, Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley, famously admitted to creating hundreds of crop circles as a prank, using simple tools like wooden planks, ropes, and a baseball cap with a wire loop for sighting lines. Their confession inspired other circle makers, and by the 2000s, organized groups were openly crafting elaborate designs as art or performance. Skeptics point out that no crop circle has ever been definitively linked to a UFO, and many formations show clear signs of human construction, like broken stalks or uneven patterns. Even Levengood's findings have been criticized for lacking peer-reviewed validation or for being explainable by natural processes. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the UFO crop circle connection persists in popular culture and among enthusiasts. Books, documentaries, and websites continue to explore the idea that these formations are cosmic messages, perhaps encoded with mathematical or astronomical significance. For example, some circles align with ley lines or ancient sites, prompting speculation about extraterrestrial interest in Earth's energy grid. Others interpret the designs as warnings about environmental crises or as attempts to communicate universal truths through sacred geometry. The debate over crop circles created by UFOs ultimately reflects a broader human fascination with the unknown. Are they hoaxes, natural phenomena, or evidence of alien contact? Without irrefutable proof like clear footage of a UFO crafting a circle or an artifact left behind, the question remains open. What's undeniable is the phenomenon's ability to inspire awe and wonder, whether viewed as terrestrial art or as a possible glimpse of something far beyond our world. As long as crop circles keep appearing, the mystery and the allure of the extraterrestrial will endure. Now, let's take a look at this brand new crop circle discovered overnight, magically, in the UK just days ago. Now here's some pictures of the crop circles as well. And yeah, I admit they look very interesting, right? It's perfectly round. Nice shape in the middle there, which is an interesting shape. Keep that in mind for later. Pin that. Now, there's not much information about this particular crop circle. The farmer where this land is, and they made this crop circle, he's not allowing anyone to go visit. Except for these pictures clearly in video that was made. But, no one's allowed to go check it out as of now. So there's really no new information. Just know it just magically appeared one night like most crop circles. So what I thought would be interesting right now is to play you a clip from a Y-Files episode, which I'm going to put a full link in the description to go check out the full episode. But I've got a couple clips from this crop circle video that they made that I think you're going to find very interesting, because this particular part takes a look at the history of crop circles in a way I've never heard before.
Though crop formations seem like a new phenomenon, there's evidence they've been appearing for a long time. In the 9th century, Abegard, the Bishop of Lyon in France, wrote about parishioners who were possibly engaged in devil worship or paganism. They were collecting seeds out of flattened circles in the fields and using them for fertility rituals. In 1686, Robert Plot, a professor at Oxford, wrote about crop circles. He even drew pictures of a couple that appeared near his home. He said they were formed by a flash of light, and once they were formed, animals wouldn't go near them. Around the same time, a pamphlet was released called The Mowing Devil. It describes how a farmer woke to see a bright light in his field that he thought was fire. When he went to investigate, he found a crop circle. It's called the Mowing Devil because the farmer said the circle was so neatly mowed that it could not have been done by a mortal man. John Leland served as librarian to Henry VIII. He wrote about patterns appearing in grass overnight. In 1937, a British science journal reported circles found in a field of barley and even included one of the first photos taken of a crop circle. In 1945, this photo was taken by a balloonist working for the RAF Parachute Training School. In 1952, the U.S. Air Force investigated circles found in Kansas. In 1963, Sir Patrick Moore, an astronomer writing for the New Scientist journal, investigated a formation in Charlton.
In the wheat fields were features taking the form of circular or elliptical areas in which the wheat had been flattened. One very well defined was an oval, 15 yards long by 4.5 broad. There was evidence of spiral flattening, and in one case there was a circular area in the center in which the wheat had not been flattened.
One of the texts discovered in the Dead Sea Scrolls is the Book of Enoch. Enoch talks about lightning leaving marks on the earth. So these formations have been seen since the beginning of recorded history.
God, that's so fascinating. Again, link in the description to check out that full episode. Now, there's one more clip from that episode I'm going to play because it involves video footage of crop circles being made by orbs. And they always say, oh, there's no disc or orbs, no video evidence showing these crop circles being made. But there are a couple cases worth mentioning. And I think this is a perfect time to take a look at that.
Even though thousands of circles have been found, and many people claim to witness them forming, no one had ever caught it on camera until 1996. John Whaley was camping out on a hill in Wiltshire called Oliver's Castle, named for a fort that was built there many years ago. Around 3 a.m., something caught his eye. He grabbed his video camera and captured footage of several glowing orbs hovering over a field. Then, like magic,
Whoa!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117 Here's the formation from the air. Nobody can agree on what crop circles mean, though most people believe they're messages. Now, this is frustrating to many researchers. They say, whoever's making these, why don't they just speak English? Well, in 2001, they did.
Intelligently controlled. You see, the object came down and it stopped for a long.
Nothing random about it. There's no movement in the prevailing wind.
I can't think what that is.
The definitive piece of evidence.
All right, so again, link in the description to watch that full video. It's an hour long. I highly recommend it. AJ from the Y-Files does a phenomenal job of breaking down the entire folklore of crop circles. But let's jump back to this brand new crop circle that was made. Earlier in the video, I showed a picture of the crop circle, and there was one particular image that I thought we should focus on because it details this particular symbol, which is called the witch's knot, and it's a famous symbol. The witch's knot, also known as the magic knot, is a symbol in folk magic and witchcraft, often associated with protection and binding. It's a continuous interwoven pattern, traditionally crafted from a single piece of rope or cord, creating a seamless loop. This continuous design is believed to represent eternity and the unbreakable bond of protection. Though I do find that kind of interesting. Does it mean anything? I don't know, right? Why would aliens put this symbol, right? The same one we use for that. I don't know. I think what's unique about the symbol and what might make it appealing to hoaxers of crop circles is that it's made with one continuous loop, right? That particular fact about that symbol is what makes it interesting and would make it very appealing to crop circle makers if they were going to hoax something. Now, again, I'm not saying that's what is the case with this one. I'm just saying that's kind of interesting, right? And one other part that I found interesting about this particular crop circle was in the exact location, okay, where this one was found. They had one just, last year, and this seems to be a hot spot for these crop circles. So I don't know, does that mean anything? Just kind of interesting, right? They keep popping up in the exact same particular place there in the UK. That for these anyway, I just find that a little, it's kind of a red flag if I'm being honest, right? Now that doesn't mean all crop circles are fake, right? But some are, right? And as I mentioned earlier in the video, there were a couple of gentlemen from the UK who had come out in the early 90s proclaiming that they were faking these, lots of them. And they even showed how they did it. Now here's some archival footage to show how these two guys faked crop circles.
It's a mystery as old as the hills. Just how do these perfect circles appear in the middle of cornfields? It's baffled scientists, it's baffled experts, it's even baffled the newspapers. Over the years, the suggestions as to how the circles get there have been getting, well, cornier. Could it be the work of UFOs or magnetic forces or little green men? Or was it the Earth appealing for man's help to save the planet? Today, the world's press gathered in anticipation to hear the answer. Their interest had been aroused by an article in this morning's Today newspaper. At long last, there would be proof of earthly involvement. Two men in their 60s from Southampton had been making circles for years, and they would show how it was done.
I lived in Australia from 1958 to 66. And when I came home, during their time in Australia, there was a report in their newspapers of a circular depression in a grass field in Queensland. And they immediately called it a UFO nest. In other words, it was where a UFO had landed. I've always been a bit interested in UFOs and sightings and that sort of thing. But when I came home in 66, I met Dave, who was a fellow artist. And we used to go venture out on Friday evenings and have a chat about watercolours and things and have a pint of beer. And one evening, summer evening, we saw a cornfield, and I remarked to him about this. And I said, why don't we put a circular depression in this cornfield, the same as they had out in Australia? I said, the UFO Society here, which was at its height at the time, Warminster especially, I said, they will probably think that it is a UFO that had landed.
All this could be said to be a somewhat flattening experience for the expert's expert on corn circles, Pat Delgado from Alresford in Hampshire. He's written 2 books on the subject. Was he convinced by the demonstration?
I think it's impossible with the piece of equipment. They had a board and a rope and like it was a horse they were riding. And I think the giveaway really is that when they put their foot on the board, the other leg, with all their weight on it and the weight of the board, is obviously on the crop that they've just pressed down. So it would be quite easy to trace their footsteps because he couldn't hop along on one leg. It would have to, unless he can hop along on one leg with a board.
Others with doubts are the members of the Wessex Skeptic Society. They know a thing or two about hoaxes themselves.
About 5 of us manufactured a circle on land at Clinch Common, fairly complex central circle and a few satellites, and it was promptly and almost unanimously, I believe, pronounced genuine by a great number of circles experts, including Terence Meaden.
The men from the newspaper went away happy. They'd had the world's press literally running in circles. But for serious circle watchers, a lingering doubt remains.
All right, betters, I'll put links in the description. Go check it out for yourself. What do you think? Are crop circles real? Are all crop circles real? Could some be hoax? Could some be made by ETs trying to contact us and give us information, warn us, befriend us? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Very intriguing. All right, betters. See you in the next one. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.